So far, we've talked about both of these gauges in terms of them merely being a two-channel pressure gauge, where channel A and channel B, channel A and channel B, are basically two pressure gauges. They both have a very interesting feature that channel B can measure a whole series of things and have a whole series of devices attached to them that can measure flow and all kinds of other interesting things. So first, with the Retrotec gauge, we'll talk about the number of devices that can be hooked up to channel B. And in this case, we have got one device that's hooked up to channel B, and you'll notice that it goes to channel B. So this is a flow pressure signal going to channel B. The intention is that it can measure the flow out of this device. There are a series of devices that can be hooked up to channel B, and to find out what they are, we can press the Setup menu and go to Device Setup, enter, and we can see a whole series of devices. There's 2 duct testers from Retrotec, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans from Retrotec. And as we click down, we can see the Minneapolis Duct Blaster, Minneapolis Model 3, 240 volt, the Minneapolis Model 4, the Minneapolis Exhaust Fan, Minneapolis True Flow Grid, the Infotec fan, and then back to one of the Retrotec duct testers. So there's a whole series of devices that can occur inside the active menu, but let's take a look at what's really in there. We'll exit that for the time being. I've pressed exit twice. Now I'll come to my device key, press the device key, and I'll see that I've got the Retrotec 1000, the Retrotec 2000, the Retrotec 3000, and the Retrotec 3000 SR, the Retrotec DU200, which is their duct tester, and back to the Retrotec 1000. So we have roughly 5 devices in this menu, where we could have about 15 if we wanted to, or we can reduce it down to only 1 device. In this case, this is the Retrotec DU200 fan, and if we want to make a measurement on that particular fan, all we need to do is to make sure that fan is on the menu. We press the mode button for the results that we want, in this case CFM. We turn the fan on, and soon we'll see CFM being displayed on the bottom line here. We've now converted a pressure signal into a flow signal by selecting the correct device. 114 CFM, 125 CFM as the fan speeds up. So we've now advanced to the next stage of complexity, which is using this gauge to handle a whole series of devices.